Hello guys, welcome to another painting tutorial. This time I'm going to paint this Ultramarine for Space Marine Army. I'd like to thank you very much for watching my videos, and I would really appreciate if you leave a comment, a like, and subscribe if you really like this video. Now I'm going to start with Macragge blue, and I'm going to start base coating the whole miniature over the gray primer. Remember always to thin down your paint just enough so that it doesn't eat through the detail of your miniature. This step is really easy. It's not really you don't need that much skill for it. As you can see, I didn't really attach the bolter to the body so that I could just go into the detail on the chest plate and on the purity seals that has hanging from his leg. Now in this tutorial I do go over a lot of detail. I'm trying to make a high quality Ultramarine with the new range, and yeah, some of the steps you may be able to just skip over so that you can get a lot of these guys painted quickly. Now I'm using a Sermon blue, which is Drakenhof Nightshade for the new range, and I'm starting to wash the whole miniature with this wash or shade. This is a really basic step. It's just mopping the shade all over the miniature and trying to get it all into all of the cracks and crevices. It doesn't really matter if it doesn't look very well at this step. Now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead with Macragge blue again and Altdorf blue. I'm going to mix them 1 to 1, and I'm going to use actually I'm going to use my mix of 1-1-1 of the paint. The ratio is paint and then glaze medium and water. This creates a really thin mixture, or you could go to the mixtures that you would like. Try to instead of measuring my ratios, try to use your own. Try to find a consistency which you are comfortable with. It takes some time, but it's really rewarding. What I'm doing here is I'm applying it to most of the areas, just leaving a little bit of the shade on the recesses. Just try to leave the recesses alone. Just apply the paint on all of the plating on the armor, like I'm doing here. And okay, the ratio that I'm using is to make easier the transition of colors. If you do mix the ratio that I'm telling you, when the paint dry over the other layer, it's gonna look the changing in between colors is gonna look more natural and not gonna be a really harsh line. That's what I'm trying to do with this. And if the color doesn't cover very well with just one coat, you can just go ahead and give it another one. This is just applying the same principle with just Altdorf blue. This is just applying it on the places where the light would hit the most. You can just copy the sections that I'm choosing here, or you have your artistic license to do it however you like. Just try to cover a bit less area than the previous highlight, and you're good to go. Now that that's done, now comes the edge highlighting. I'm going to edge highlight all of the edges that I know that are gonna be blue with the fine detail brush, and just edge highlighting. Go and do the thinnest line that you can get on all of the edges of all of the plating. This is not really necessary, I guess, if you're trying to make just tabletop standard. I'm not saying that this is just so high quality or anything. I'm trying to go to all the detail that I can, and hopefully it looks good. I think it looks pretty well. And yeah, just go all over the edges with this. You can thin it down. I thin it down with glaze medium, just a little bit. You don't want to turn this paint transparent. You actually want the paint to look, and just to give it a little flow. Maybe if you have flow improver, that'll help too. When you try to edge highlighting from with the paint just straight from the pot is going to be really hard. The paint is not going to flow very well. You can do it, but you'll be finding yourself going back to the pot a lot of times, and it's going to get really annoying. Now this is how it looks with all of the edges highlighting. I'm going now to go with Fenrissian gray, which is the color for the I think the Space Wolves, and I'm going to give a little edge highlight over the already edge highlighted parts, but just in the very sharpest edges and the places that I want to really get a pop on. This is actually the same as the last step, and actually is in a little less area than the last step, so it's kind of quicker. Now this is how the miniature is supposed to look with all of the blue colors on it. From now on, the painting is just detailing. This is the step. These are, I think, the most important steps for painting any sort of chapter. This is a point where I know that the miniature is gonna look good or not, and it's looking quite good, just for my taste. I'm just leaving this footage so that you can see all the highlights. Maybe if you pause the video, you can see in detail where the highlights actually go. And yeah. Now I'm going to use model color Vallejo black, and I'm going to use it on all of the parts that I want to be silver. I usually use Abbadon black, and you can still use it, but I bought this paint and tried it out. I actually like it more than the Abbadon black. The Abbadon black has a really shiny finish, a really satin finish. This black model color is really opaque and looks really good. I think I preferred it a lot than the Games Workshop Abbadon black. But you can use it if you don't mind that. I'm trying to be very careful on all these further steps, not to mess up all of the work that we already done with the miniature. And yeah, that's practically it. Here I am painting the bolter. As you can see, I have it separate from the body. Now the next step, I'm going to use this is Leadbelcher, and I'm using it to base coat all of the metal areas. Now, because I wanted this miniature to look kind of pristine or very clean, because this is the very best of the Imperium, as we know, or they're supposed to be. I wanted to look very clean and very shiny and new, so after this step I didn't do an oil wash, although it would look good if you did it. I just choose not to. Thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for the second part. You can click the link on the corner of the screen here, or check it on my channel. Thank you very much for watching. See you later.